So if you'd like to learn how to make these rubber footrests, these rubber diamond tread footrests from scratch, keep watching. I'm going to show you how to do it. Spoiler alert, this is from Harbor Freight, these strips. And this is the secret sauce right here. That will glue rubber together and it will be super strong. So you got the answer right there. If you want to watch me do it, keep watching. Okay, these are little rubber strips I got from Harbor Freight. And what I'm doing at the beginning is I'm just gonna cut the edge of them off so I can stick them together, because the edge is kind of rounded. It's not perpendicular, or it doesn't make like a 90-degree angle. And so once I get two edges trimmed, I'm gonna stick them together with the tape. Try to get them to fit real tight together. That's the treads I bought. I think they're more expensive than that now, but either way, it's an awesome bargain. Okay, flip them over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screwdriver under each side to kind of prop it up and create a valley to put the glue in. And the glue I'm using is called Scotch-Weld PR40. It's just an awesome glue for rubber. It'll pretty much glue any rubber together, and it will not come apart once it sets. The rubber will rip before the glue fails. And so you can see the screwdrivers created that little valley. So I can pour the glue in there. Now I put a vise on it to kind of hold it down. Then I'm also going to put some clamps on it to kind of squeeze it together. This stuff sets up pretty fast, but you do have about probably 30 seconds to work with it before it starts getting out of hand. And it kind of depends on the type of rubber. This rubber seemed a little more resistant, so it had a little more working time than something else. So you can just squeeze them together, just put a little pressure on them, and just let it sit and dry. So you can see I cut out a cardboard or wrapping paper template for each side. And luckily I could just use one and flip it over. They were symmetrical. Some things on this tractor aren't symmetrical, but this was. So once I had the template, I started tracing it out onto the back of those rubber strips that I glued together. And it was a matter of just starting to cut it out. Fresh blade really helps. And you can see I'm checking to make sure it's square or, straight lines. It's like I found a spot that wasn't quite straight, so I just did a little trimming. And then to get the final shape with the rounded corners, you just use a pair of scissors. And it's not too hard. If there's sharp scissors, you can cut that stuff relatively easy. All right, now initially this stuff comes with two-sided tape on the back. And so my thought was, hey, I got it cut out. I just glue it, or, use the tape to stick it down, the adhesive that's on the back of it. So I peel the paper off, and well, you'll see the adhesive. You can see it doesn't even stick to the rubber, barely. And once I get it on there, it's not sticking at all. So I look at it, start messing with it with my fingers and start peeling it. And I actually end up just peeling all of it off. It took me a while, but I peeled all that adhesive off of the back of it because it just wasn't sticking. To be fair, I had these things sitting in my garage for over a year, so maybe they got kind of wore out or something. I don't know, the adhesive got bad, but so I decided instead to use those push pin retainers. And that's basically what originally was on there a long time ago. And so I got clamps holding it down in place so I can put my first hole in. I'm going to drill from underneath through one of the retaining holes and then follow it from the top and really just clean it out. And you know, once you get one of these in, it kind of anchors it down, and then it's not as big a deal to do the rest of the holes. Now, the shape of the diamond treads and where the holes were, I had to basically custom fit almost all of these push pins. It wasn't hard at all, and it was actually kind of enjoyable. It was like custom fabrication or something. Just see what I'm talking about. I trim it up, the notch that I need to make, and then just end up hammering it in. And it was a little out of alignment, so I had to twist it just a little bit to get it facing the right way. And just smack it with a hammer. Not even very hard. You can see I was talking about how I kind of cut it to fit around the diamond tread. And here's what it looks like when they were all done on one side. You can see almost every one was a little custom trimmed to fit, but it wasn't hard to do, and it worked fine. So that's it. Not a big project. So now if you're interested in seeing me put the decals on this thing, keep watching because that's what's next. Okay, you can see I had the first part of the sticker already stuck on there. I measured that like 10 times to get it perfectly lined up with the crease of the hood, the top and both the left and right side. And all these stickers are actual Kubota stickers. I bought them from Messix.com, Messicks. It's a Kubota dealer that has a really good online website. And that's the cool thing about Kubota. It's like John Deere. You can get parts still. And this thing was made in '84, and I could still order the majority of the stickers for it. There was only a couple I couldn't get. Now, it's kind of hard to understand what I'm doing, but I also filmed doing the brake sticker, and that'll make more sense. But basically, that tape, I set that on the footrest, and it's parallel. And then I put the ruler on top of it, and that just gives me the ability to set the sticker down in there where it will be parallel with the footrest. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain, but so I'm just pushing that ruler up against the front of the footrest. So I can just drop the sticker in there, and that guarantees that that sticker is level with the bottom of the footrest. These stickers weren't too hard to put on. They're all foil stickers, which are very durable, and they're pretty easy to work with. I think easier than vinyl. They definitely resist the bubbling. That Kubota sticker was vinyl, but almost the rest of them were all foil stickers. You can see I've already put a bunch of stickers on. All the stickers you see are brand new that I ordered. It's really cool. You could still get all that stuff. And pretty much the last one to do was this big monster warning sticker that goes back on this fender. This is actually a sticker that came on, like, I think an 88 model, and this is an 85, so the sticker's a little different. It says the same thing, just I think the warning and caution were above each other instead of side by side, but I mean, it's good enough, nobody knows. And so here I'm just really figuring out the best place to put it, left and right, up and down. Do I want it near the edge, or do I want it in the middle of the fender? And I settle on closer to the edge, so it's basically spaced evenly between the edge of the fender and the edge of the seat. And so I'm just going back and measuring back and forth to make sure I've got that edge even with the seam of the fender right there. And then I test it. So I flip it over, don't touch it, and then measure it to see if it maintained the proper spacing from the edge. If you've ever put like a protective glass cover on like a tablet or a phone, kind of the same concept. And I'm just being careful, trying to hold that left edge up while I push it down with the scraper. And then it pops, so I hurry up and squeeze it out, and it goes on perfectly. Thank goodness. And that's about it. We got one more episode to make where I'm going to show this thing completely finished, use it, riding it around. So we'll wrap up this series in the next video. But I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope you enjoy it. See ya.